Hey, welcome to the Geeks Talking Geek. My name is Bandito Bane, the well-rounded, the Super Spider-Man fan, and with me is one of the best and oldest geeks I know, John's Longbox. How's it going, man?
I gotta ask, do you mean like I've been a geek for a long time, or I'm just an old man?
Well, maybe both.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, but how's it going? It's just
I'm doing good. Long time no see. Sorry that I couldn't come on last time.
Yeah, it's all right.
I'm working a crazy schedule. I'm working 3 to 10, so I never see my wife. So Saturdays usually my wife and I do something.
Yeah, it's all right. We're starting the month of October, right? It is Halloween, and unfortunately, it's just going to be me and John. But fortunately, John's with us to give us his knowledge of tabletops and comic books. So we're going to be talking about the Oni Press EC relaunch. We're going to be talking about IDW's Dark. We're going to be talking about Curse of Strahd and Call of Cthulhu. Have you ever played any of those games?
It's funny. I just had Sandy Peterson on my channel like 2 weeks ago. He's the guy who created the Call of Cthulhu game. There's a role-playing game called Call of Cthulhu. It's like Dungeons and Dragons, but it's like the base scenarios. It's like the 1920s. You're investigators.
Yeah,
and it's like every Lovecraft story. You're investigating rumors or whatever. And what I like about this game is you're basically the best you're ever going to be when you first play, and you become worse. You become insane, or die. So you don't level up. You just get more and more damaged as time goes by. So don't get used to those characters. You're probably going to last 1, 2, 3 maybe stories at the most.
Yeah,
so it's the exact opposite of everything else. But
I heard the best strategy for that game is to start out with somebody who's already crazy.
Yeah, let them take all the. But that's the fun. You don't want to play a Lovecraft horror detective story and not see any of the monsters and anything like that.
It's like I've always had a thing for Lovecraft. I mean, I want to play Call of Cthulhu, but like. My D&D guy, he's like, yeah, I'm not sure about Call of Cthulhu. I could do D&D, but I'm not sure about Call of Cthulhu.
It's a whole nother mindset. When you're playing Call of Cthulhu, you can't play like the Dungeons & Dragons, kill the monster, take the treasure kind of mentality.
Yeah.
Like what you have to, it's really like, I hate to say it because it sounds so bad, but it's like you have to want to get into the role playing more than the monster fighting, because the base monsters in Lovecraft are going to kill a human. You know what I mean? So if you're going to get to freaking Cthulhu, you got no chance. Like it's not a fighting game; it's a role playing game. It's a story game. So you got to get that mindset, and a lot of people don't like it. But that's the game,
Yeah, and it's one of those games where you can't just heal yourself. It's like a real time game where broken bones and mortal wounds are basically a game over.
Yeah. Like at Dungeons & Dragons, there's all these magic spells that you can heal. And yes, Call of Cthulhu, there is magic spells, but there's not really like magic spell heal you wound. I mean, it's not supposed to be like the magic spells are supposed to be like a banishment for a spirit or a monster, but there are healing spells, and they always seem to show up because your game master doesn't want you to just get punched in the face and that's the end. So you do heal. But it's not supposed to be that way. I mean, if you've read Lovecraft, nobody just turns around and casts a zap on this guy and he gets up again and continues walking. You fight one monster and you're done. And out of a party of 6 people, one guy maybe lives long enough to scrawl down everything in a diary before they lock him away in an asylum. And that's the end.
Yeah. And it's always fun because it's not about fighting or going on adventure. It's about investigations.
Yeah. There's a couple of games like I played another game called Gangbusters, and that was set in the 30s, and like your Prohibition era Chicago gangsters bringing alcohol and booze and fighting the FBI.
Hmm.
You know, that's kind of fun, but that is a lot same lines with Boot Hill. That's another role playing game I played where you're cowboys in the old west. The thing about that game is you're fighting other humans. There's no monsters. You know what I mean? Like it's just you
Yeah,
fight cowboys and Indians, sheriffs, marshals, bank robbers, or whatever. And then the gangsters game is you're fighting other mobsters, things like that. But the gun is the big equalizer. Like it doesn't matter how badass you are, it doesn't matter how big your strength is. You know, a kid with a snub nose revolver could take you out. Like we used to joke that in Boot Hill, we would spend 40 minutes making a character, and then in our first gunfight, you were dead. Because that's what guns do. You know, in the absence of superpowers and magic spells and elven abilities. So you got to play those games a little bit smart. Like Dungeons and Dragons, like almost encourages recklessness because like
yeah,
you got every solution. You know, magic rings and potions. Yeah, not at first level, of course, but you know that's what. So just imagine you're playing where the average person can kill you, but the average person is not the worst thing. Call it Cthulhu, like the weakest monster is out of
yeah,
our league. Yeah, so it is a tough game.
yeah. And here's some expansions. Like this
Oh
game
yeah,
is crazy. Like no
yeah,
time to screen.
yeah. They have a whole bunch of pre-made scenarios, and then I think it might be a whole nother game. I'm not sure. I never played it, but there's this. It's called Delta Green.
Oh yeah, that was one of the Call of Cthulhu's set during the Vietnam War.
Yeah, they have like Vietnam War and modern days where the government knows about deep ones and they have some sort of treaties and you know so it's like your Marines
Yeah,
fighting sometimes alongside the deep ones against other monstrous races and things. I
yeah.
never played it, but I always thought that was fascinating.
Hang on, let me look at that. Yeah, so I've always been interested in Lovecraft and like some of my favorite my favorite comic book were like the interview of Randolph Carter, which actually got me into Lovecraft.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite.
Yeah.
It was the interview with the statement of Randolph Carter.
Yeah, the statement of Randolph Carter.
You fool, Randolph is dead.
Warren.
Yeah, Warren Harley is dead. Yeah.
Harley is dead. I mean,
Warren is dead.
Okay.
I love that story so well because Randolph Carter, for those of you who don't know, is like H.P. Lovecraft's self-insert in the stories. His first appearance was that story, the statement of Randolph Carter, and then he showed up. I forget the next story, but then it was the Silver Key, and then Beyond the Silver Key, and then the unknown quest of the dream quest of unknown Kadath. And
and plus
he loved to dream, so he would like plot out his dreams and then he always wished that he could go back to his youth and things. So that's what Randolph Carter was, this dreamer who got the Silver Key and somehow went back in time to his youth. And because his name was Carter, Randolph Carter, and then John Carter from Edgar Rice Burroughs, and he was this was a guy who had superpowers, right? John Carter, Warlord of Mars.
Yeah.
He was immortal and then somehow transported himself to Mars. Like they never explain it in the books or anything. Like did it? So I kind of interpret it as dreams. So then I have a character, Jack Carter. He's the sleeper agent. He gets his powers through dreams and travels through the dream. So in my mind, they're all related. In my timeline.
Yeah, that's cool. Like here's the Delta Green, and it's like you're like the government and the depots are preventing the apocalypse from happening because oh, making a new one. Damn it, they haven't put anything yet. All right, so the publications like this started a long time ago. I don't know the sources and the resources like the agent dossier. I don't know if they're still in print, but they're selling them. They're giving them as PDFs.
Yeah, I don't have anything. I have a novel, like, you know, somebody wrote a book based on Delta Green. I bought that. That's how I heard about Delta Green.
Yeah.
I was looking through Lovecraft stuff, and the guy in the store was like, "Yeah, this is Lovecraft inspired." And then I was like, "Oh, this." And then I talked to my friend Jerry about it. He's like, "Yeah, there's a role playing game." I was like, "Oh wow, I had no idea."
Yeah. So here are Here are the campaigns: Black Sites, the Borealis Connection. Yeah. Some of these are set during not World War II. That's Achtung Cthulhu.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Delta Green, I think, is starts in Vietnam, and then I think I may be wrong that there's like modern day scenarios.
yeah. And I think there was also this one set in the Wild West, which is completely wow.
Have you played them?
No, I've not. It's because I have not found anybody who wants to play Call of Cthulhu.
Do you play Dungeons and Dragons stuff? Do you have a
Yes,
group?
yeah, I have a group, yeah, just recently my DM said he wasn't having any fun anymore, so he basically called quits on the campaigns, and I
Oh
don't
no.
blame him.
Did you guys meet in person, or did you play via video or anything like
We played on Discord.
that? See, I tried that once or twice. It just doesn't feel right to me. It's got to be in person.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, Down Darker Trails. Like this one's is one set in the Old West.
Oh, cool.
Like let me bring this one up. All right, so
Never saw that.
yeah, so saddle up, get yourself a posse together. You have to look and see what's over that hill. There's strange rumors coming in from the Whispering Desert. You best put around in that iron and make it haste. Now, this like takes to like I don't know if you heard of the Superstitious Mountains.
Yeah, they're in Arizona, right?
Yeah, this is basically taking place in the Superstitious Mountains.
Yeah, they're right outside of Phoenix, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the one around Phoenix. Yeah, my buddy lives in Phoenix.
Yeah, I mean, look at there. Those are the Superstitious Mountains.
Yeah, and my comic book, Science City, is in Arizona by Yuma.
Really?
Yeah, that's the setting. Is when I was driving, is funny because I was leaving my Phoenix from my buddy Phil's house. I was driving my friend Jimmy's house in San Diego. We stopped near Yuma, and it was just miles and miles of flat land and beautiful land and sunshine and then I always thought about it. There was ghost towns nearby, and my friend Bob didn't want to stop at the ghost town. That bothers me, but I always thought about it. Then when we drove back, same thing. I was like, this is beautiful. Man, is it hot?
Oh,
and then Elon Musk was saying a couple of years ago that if they were to build solar parks, solar farms like in near Yuma, they could power cities, and that always stuck in my head. So I was like, okay, for my comic book, there's always Metropolis and Gotham, so I'm going to put a solar powered city in Yuma, and I looked up this ghost town where it's the exact location, and I use that for story ideas. So I'm gonna do stories set basically Lovecraft Western stories, in the ghost towns near Yuma, and then modern stories Science City. But of course, it doesn't go right, because what good would a comic book be if everything was designed perfectly?
Yeah, I mean, you can't have everything can't go can't go perfect in a comic book.
Right.
Okay, so I mean, I really want to play Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah,
And
it's fun. There's a Call of Cthulhu. I'm looking over there. It's one of the first board games I ever bought, and I still have it in shrink wrap, like it's a card game.
Really?
Yeah. So you could buy sets, so it's like a Magic the Gathering game,
Yeah.
And yeah. I assume one person's the monster. I don't even know. I'm assuming, and I just realized I don't know. Looking right at it because I went to a Dungeons and Dragons board game convention, and I'm trying to remember what year it was. 2012, something like that. 2013.
Yeah.
And I played Call of Cthulhu there, and I started to realize that playing like 4-hour sessions of pre-generated characters with complete strangers is not that much fun. So like I would get food and I started to like wander around, and they had a whole room full of board games. And I've always liked board games, but board games growing up for me was Risk, Stratego, and stuff. Like I had no idea about all the new board games. So I saw Arkham Horror.
Oh yeah.
And the second edition, and I was like, oh my God, and I read the rules, and I had no idea it was a cooperative game, meaning everybody who plays is on the same side, and you verse the game itself. And I was like, that sounds like impossible. How does that? But man, it is so much fun. It's my favorite board game. And every couple of months, my friend Jimmy and his wife, and we set up Arkham Horror, and we play all night long. It's a long, complicated game, but it's playing a board game, a role, a Lovecraft story. And then they made another one called Eldritch Horror.
Yeah.
The advantage over Eldritch Horror over Arkham Horror is they said Arkham Horror got too complicated, so they made Eldritch Horror to streamline it. That's BS. It's just as complicated. But the thing about Arkham Horror is set in a fictional town of Arkham. It's one town. Then Eldritch Horror is it's like Indiana Jones. You're going all over the globe, but they designed it so that it's a story. So okay, tonight we're going to play this story, and it's got a pack of cards. So the story is consistent, and it makes sense. Whereas Arkham Horror, you literally have like big decks of cards, and there's rules to win, but each little event could be disconnected and not have anything to do with it, but it's all Lovecraft stuff. But Eldritch Horror, you're playing one story. Yeah, that's Arkham Horror. I freaking love this game. And if you lived anywhere near New York, I'd invite you over and we'd play.
Yeah. But as I was saying before we got onto stream, Sully right now is at the Bruins game. So and how Bostonians are with the Bruins.
Yeah, look at that board. Yeah, it's so much fun.
Yeah. And Gray right now is at a judo seminar. I mean, that guy is like the Renaissance man. So Silth is busy. Aaron is right now spending time with his girlfriend because he has been busy with his drawings. But this looks great. I mean, I wouldn't mind dumping some time here. Oh, there's also a game called Betrayal on House of the Hill.
Yep.
Have you played it?
Yeah, I played the basic version of Betrayal on the House of the Hill, and that is another. You can't call cooperative because you don't know what you're doing. At first. So what you do is you pick a scenario. The book has like 50, 60 scenarios. Yeah. So it's just what. It's one, we're going to stay at the haunted house, and then you just go around and you're basically exploring the house, and everybody gets stuff, and you look. When certain conditions are met, one person becomes the monster. So, like you get possessed by the devil or whatever. It's called the haunt. So you don't know who it is because it depends on where you go, what you find, and even what dice you roll. And then the game takes like a short break, and one person, the bad guy, reads his rules. The rules actually change. So this is a game that is really tough to play because it's hey, Yang is here. You should invite Yang in, and he's another board gamer and everything. He
okay.
knows yeah, Yang's
All
a good guy.
Let me get it. Let me get it.
Probably, I love this game, but this is going to sound snooty. I won't play it with just anybody because it's one of the most player dependent games. Like you're not going to play it with a 7-year-old who can't read, because if he becomes the haunt, he has to read all the rules, and and you're not going to play with somebody who's like casually into board games, because they're going to mess up the rules. That's going to ruin the whole game.
Yeah.
But they fixed it. There's a Scooby-Doo edition. So I don't know if you have kids. Like, to me, you are a kid.
No.
Once you hit my age, anybody under 40 is a kid. So I don't know if you have children, but if you have children and you want to play a game that's a lot of fun, you play the Scooby-Doo edition, because that way you could pick who becomes the monster. And if so
yeah, it's like it's like the Scooby-Doo unmasking.
Right. But there's also a D&D version. I think there's Betrayal on Baldur's Gate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I got rid of my Betrayal on House, because I just got too many games. But I bought Betrayal on House of Hill Legacy, and what that is it's really tough to play, because it's legacy games are games that remember the last time you played. So me, you, and Yang, and somebody else, we all play, and then we do the whole game. And then, depending upon the circumstances, there's little envelopes of cards that we shuffle into the deck, and it changes the rules of the game. And then the next time we play, it's like 10 years later, and it's like our kids go back. It's like it happens over generations and generations. I love legacy games, but the thing about legacy games is you got to get a hardcore, because me, I want to play with the same people. Like I got 2 versions of Risk Legacy. One that I play with my nieces and nephews. I haven't touched it in 10 years. And one that I play with my old game group that we kind of broke up over COVID. So I got 2. You know what I mean? And I don't want to start another one with people, because my friend that I play games with, he's moving next year. So I'm like, oh, man. So I don't know.
Yeah.
And I got a Charterstone, which is you're supposed to play like 15 games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's going pretty good. Matter of fact, I'm going to message them to say, let's play Charterstone next week.
Yeah,
we got to get that going. But
I'm gonna try to send an invite to Yang.
But I love legacy games, so I have Betrayal on the House of Hill Legacy.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't played it yet, because like that's my big fear is I break it out, I play with the group, we never play it again. You know what I mean? Like, so legacy games kind of came and went, because that seems to be the ongoing problem is getting people to commit. It's like a Dungeons & Dragons group. How many times you actually have the same 4 or 5 people?
Yeah, and plus life gets in the way, and other
right.
Obligations.
Yeah, if I was in college or high school, man, legacy games would be the poop. We'd be, but getting adults to do stuff is like herding cats.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not at that age where all my friends are retired yet, and we could probably do it every day. You know what I mean? Because we got nothing else. So we're all still working. I'm looking up my phone. I got to get my Charterstone group and remind them. Now that you made me think about it, because also if I don't do things right when I think about them, I forget now.
Yeah. Okay, Yang, if you want to join, I just sent you a link on your Twitter. Because we're right now we're just talking about we're talking about horror games, horror comic books, because it's October and we're all
right.
fit. And it is.
I have a few, like there's a game called The Witches. It's set in the universe. I play that every year around Halloween. It's like Harry Potter version of witches. I got a game called what's it called? The Coven, which is a really flawed game, but I like it anyway. That's another Halloween game.
Mm-hmm.
I know I got more Halloween themed games like Eldritch Horror. I know I got more Halloween based games, but those are the ones like The Witches. I always like to play around Halloween. it's just a cute game. Art is beautiful. You could, if you like Discworld, it's set in Discworld.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a. Do I? No, I don't.
Do you have the werewolf game Beast Among Us? It's like it's like a card game where people are where it's like you have to you're a bunch of villagers and you have to determine the werewolf.
I hate social deduction games.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I hate social deduction games. They are the worst. I don't know. I've never played one where it went good. They're always excruciating. It's just like somebody doesn't get it, or somebody forgets a cue, or somebody just wants to win at all costs. It's I just hate them. You know, it's like an acting game. It's like a theater kids game. You know, just play it. Yeah, I don't like it. It's not quite a role playing game, and it's not quite a card game, and it's not quite a board. There's only one, and it might not even be a social deduction game. Sheriff of Nottingham, which has nothing to do with Halloween. But that I've had some real fun games. But overall, I don't like social deduction.
Yeah, I mean, there were actually a lot. Like, I mean, there was a movie based off that game, and it was like, it's very popular, like in Japan, and because they actually made like separate movies on that game alone, and they even made some mangas called they called it Jinru games over there in Japan. And it was basically a bunch of kids who are stuck in a high school, an abandoned high school, and they're given like certain John, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Kind of having an report. I wouldn't have done that normally, but I got like a text message that I had to respond to. Somebody's going through a hard time. I'm sorry about that. It's very rude, but I saw that it was from this particular person. And,
no apologies. No apologies. I mean, everybody, we all have friends that we need to stay in touch with.
I'm trying to look around for. I mean, I have a whole bunch of Lovecraft games, but are those really Halloween games? But
I think they are Halloween games, but like you really hate this game.
Like I'm looking now for like I have a game called Breaking the Fourth Wall. I haven't played it yet, but it's a Lovecraft game. The Elders, it's a Lovecraft game where you're the cultist. Cthulhu Wars, but I don't consider that Halloween. But there's the board game Geek. I recognize that guy's face. But yeah, this werewolf. Oh, so this is. Forgive me. I'm still messed up from that text message. This is a role playing game based on the werewolf card game.
Yeah, it's basically you draw cards, you get different roles, such as the sorceress, the warden, or villager, and you got to deduce who's the werewolf among you people, among everyone. And if you get certain, and it actually, and like there are basically rules which actually help. Like the seer has the ability to predict who's going to be the next victim.
Right.
You have the hunter who can protect a certain villager. And
I bought a whole bunch of these social deduction games. Like when I first got into game, one of them was called the Salem, and it was really cool because it was a small box that it opened up like a book, so it looked like a diary.
Yeah,
but and it's the same thing. You got to figure out who. Did I pop out, or did you? But you got to figure out who's the witch. You got to figure out who's the mayor. You got to figure out like who's the pilgrim, like the witch hunter. It's all the same. And I think the very first one was Mafia.
Yeah, that was the very first game.
Yeah, and one person's the Don, one person's the concierge, people are soldiers, one person's like the undercover cop, and they just never work. Maybe I just happen. Maybe I'm the bad one, but I there's two types of games, tabletop games that I just don't like. It's word games like Scrabble and things like that, and it's social deduction games, meaning everybody takes on a role. You close your eyes. That's another thing. Everybody close your eyes, and only the werewolf. Other people always open their eyes. Closing your eyes is such a poor mechanism to put in a game. Now that everybody has a phone, to me, I think werewolf would benefit. Maybe they do have it. I don't know, but an app. You just hold your phone, and it's just like everybody gets a signal. You type in your role, or you hit your button that your role is, and then the phone gives you cues. That would probably work better. But the games where you got to close your eyes, and then you hear the guy coming over and like touching you or whatever like that, the guy next to you, it just never works. I can't stand basically any board game where you got to close your eyes. It just never works.
Yeah. All right. So Curse of, speaking about Dungeons and Dragons, have you ever played Curse of Strahd?
Curse of Strahd, the board game with the miniatures, or the scenario?
The scenario. The D&D scenario.
The Curse of Strahd is from Ravenloft.
Yeah.
That was that. Ravenloft, the Curse of Strahd. So I think the general scenario is called Ravenloft, and Curse of Strahd, I think, was one of the modules set in Ravenloft.
Mm-hmm.
And what Ravenloft was, I always thought it was inspired by like Interview with the Vampire and Ayn Rand.
Anne Rice.
Anne Rice. Yeah, it's objectivism. Yeah, how boring would that game be? But it was inspired by Anne Rice's vampire books. And what it is you're Dungeons and Dragons, but it's a horror setting. So it's you're in a castle, and you like instead of saying you're walking down the hallway and you find a door, the dungeon master's supposed to say it's a cold, dank dungeon with a long, musty hall. It's supposed to be like pretensions of literature. And and what it is I don't know if it started out this way, but it's somehow you got transported to a demi-dimension. So that Dungeons and Dragons has all of these planes, and then they have, you can design your own little half planes, and there's this demi-plane of dread. So fear is the motivator or the most powerful emotion or whatever. So like this, I think there's like godlike beings that feast on your fear. So like it's not supposed to like just outright kill you. An orc's not just going to stab you in the throat and kill you. An orc is going to overpower you, torture you, and slowly feast on your toes, and you know what I mean, to increase the fear.
Yeah,
it's a fun scenario. I played it exactly once.
Really? Only once? I thought you would have played it more.
I don't like Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh yeah, you like Villains and Vigilantes more.
I play Villains and Vigilantes still, and when we play even fantasy settings, we use the Villains and Vigilantes rules.
Is there a horror themed setting in Villains and Vigilantes?
There's a module called Terror by Night.
Really?
And it's a vampire, Baron von Heinrich, and he's got all the classic Dracula powers. Like anything you've ever seen a movie vampire do, this guy, he's got a list of powers. He's really overpowered, but he's supposed to be a Doctor Doom kind of villain. So what it is there's people getting killed at a traveling circus. So we can all agree there's something scary about a traveling circus. So there's all of these circus performers. One of them is an albino who has bats. He's a red herring that you think is the vampire. But and Baron von Heinrich is the big top. What's the word for the guy? The ringleader. He's the ringleader. So he comes out. Oh yeah. So you know what I mean? He's all flamboyant. You're not supposed to think that he's the vamp. But then they got a wolf-faced boy who's a werewolf. They got like a strong man who's a Frankenstein. So they do but it's a traveling caravan of horror. That's the only explicitly horror module that Village Vigilantes has, unless there's
Yeah,
another one. There's
yeah.
another. Oh, I'm sorry.
I was looking it up right now.
Okay, yeah. So when you find, and then there's another one called The Devil's Due or something like that. But it's a really interesting mix of a horror and sci-fi, because you literally take like a space warp to another planet.
Oh,
that may not be hell, and you're on a planet, and there's an alien who's super powerful, who may or may not be the devil.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like a Jack.
It's called The Devil's Domain.
Yeah, The Devil's Domain, and then there's a sequel to it too. Yeah.
There's one called From Deep Space.
Yeah, From Deep Space. That's a pure sci-fi. That's an alien invasion.
And there's also one that's called To Tackle the Totem.
To Tackle the Totem. That's people digging up American Indian artifacts.
Mm-hmm. Dawn of the Devil.
Dawn of the Devil is the first one, and then The Devil's Domain is the sequel. Yeah.
Secret in the Swamp.
In The Secret of the Swamp is they find a swamp monster.
Oh, and
an alligator guy.
Yeah.
These are all fun.
And Terror by Night. Is that the one you were talking about?
Terror by Night. Yes, Terror by Night. That's the one that's explicitly horror. That if you play in V&V, that's the one to do if you want to do a Halloween adventure.
Yeah, there's also there's a since I'm a Warhammer fan, I heard of there's this ttrpg Warhammer's edition called Dark Heresy, and there's this one where there's this one scenario where you basically go to a planet which has been cut off by everything else, and on this planet are these ghoul-like creatures that used to be human, and they became these like killer ghouls because they've been stranded, and they're basically starving, and then they turn to cannibalism and everything. It just reminds me of a lot like the cannibal boom movies from the Italians, from the Italians back in the 80s and in the 70s.
When the zombie fights the shark.
Yeah.
And then the eyeball goes into the splinter. Oh man, that gave me nightmares for a long time.
Yeah. Oh, that was like that was Lucio Fulci's Zombie.
Yeah, I asked Brian Bow, who does the Wolf of Batsy comic, if he would want to come on here, because horror movies is his thing. But he's got a groove going with his newest issue of Wolf of Batsy. He's like, sorry, I'm in the zone.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna try to do this next week. Hopefully, we get more people on here, and you can invite as many people as you want, because right now horror is one of the best. The month of October is one of the best times to talk about horror, any type of horror.
Well, my comic Heroic Tales 2 just got finished. Mm-hmm. The colorist had a family issue. It got delayed a couple of weeks. So that's fine. So it's finished. The editor just went over the script, said there was only 2 typos. So tomorrow those 2 typos will be fixed.
Yeah.
Then we go to pre-press. But I'm telling you all this because I wrote issue 3. The script for issue 3 is completely done. Wow. And I didn't plan on it. You know, I don't know if you write anything, but I plot out the stories, then I write down an outline, and then when I write, it's sometimes completely different, but just plotting it out. So this part 2, I introduced a character called Mary Sue, and then the second, it's all sci-fi. The second part, I didn't realize it until I was done. It is a full-on horror movie. So I don't know if it's the weather or the time of year or whatever, but like, so I sent the script to Brian. I was like, it's like a David Cronenberg horror movie, all body horror and everything.
Yeah. Like I went yesterday, I went to my comic book shop, and I bought a bunch of these EC comic books.
Oh, nice.
It like these are the new ones that Oni Press have actually re-released with under their version of the EC. So they're like bringing like today's comic book writers to do their own version of these horror anthologies.
Are they reprints of the old 50s EC comics, or are they new people aping the styles of the 50s?
They're new people aping the styles.
That's cool. That's cool. Because I ordered a couple of EC hardcover editions.
Oh,
like I got a romance, I got a western, and I just ordered horror.
Yeah, so we got there right now. I got like a couple issues of Catacombs of Torment. This is the horror one. Epitaphs of the Abyss. This is a terror one. I got Blood Type. This is another terror one.
Cool.
And these are the Blood Type is basically all vampires. It's all anthology of vampires.
Makes sense.
And then you got I got this one, Cruel Universe, and these are science anthologies of the terrors of deep space.
Yeah.
So I'm just like real because
have you read them yet?
I've read this one, and it is actually pretty good. The Catacombs of Torment.
Okay.
The first issue of Catacombs of Torment. I'm going to read the rest of them later. Give my full diagnosis on these comic books, because I went to my comic book shop and I was like, you know what? I'm going to be talking about horror. I'm going to be talking about a lot of horror. Horror in
what is it? Do you think what is it that makes this time of year horror?
Well, say it's because of the dead the cycle of death that's going on right now.
Yeah, but I if anybody's watching this, I'm not trying to insult anybody's beliefs. I'm giving the standard disclaimer, but we created that. You know what I mean? Like, okay, if whatever it is because you believe in that stuff. But for those of you who don't, we created that. This is the time of year of the ghosts and stuff. But what is it? Is it because the darkness is coming again? Like,
yeah. I mean, the sun goes down earlier again,
right?
And the leaves are changing. It's starting to get colder, and it's like one of the things is that human beings will think about why it's happening, everything that happened, like this goes back to like the Celtics celebrating celebrating Sam Hain and putting masks on their face so their dead relatives won't come in and drag them in the yard from their houses.
Yeah. It's like all across the world. It's I guess the sun goes up high. We have longer days now. They know that. I guess like the old cave people. Oh my God, is the sun ever going to stop? Like, did the Aztecs sacrifice to get the sun to stop going down, to get it to go back up again?
Yeah.
It's colder, it's darker. Yeah. Okay.
You brought up the Aztecs, and I can't think. And now I'm thinking about Aztec Batman. I'm like, oh, you guys are just so good.
Yeah, the Spaniards were the bad guys. The Aztecs were the good guys. Anybody
who's had
Europeans as the good guys in anything anymore, right?
Yeah, I mean, anybody who has studied history knows what the Aztecs practiced.
Right. Yeah, the Aztecs were, and one of the things that we always forget about, like, yeah, okay, they were the indigenous people and stuff like that, but the other indigenous people hated the Aztecs.
Yeah.
They helped the Spaniards kill them, because these people were killing thousands upon thousands, like from babies. One of the tribes, basically as an act of, I can't remember the tribe, but they gave their most beautiful woman of the village. Like they found, and she was, by all, whatever the story was, whatever the standards was, she was a knockout. and they gave her to the Aztec ruler, the king, or whatever you call him, as like a peace offering. And they said, "Oh, she's so beautiful." They murdered her and sacrificed her to the people of the village. Are like, "What is with these people?"
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean that
they used to skin the victims and literally wear their clothes. Like, so there was the flayed god. This was one of the gods, and they would flay living victims, and then sew their skin and wear skin suits, with their genitals and everything like that. This was like Ed Gein did that. You know what I mean? Like this was like a society where the serial killers became the priests.
Yeah, it just reminds me of, it was one of the reasons why I could not enjoy Black Panther Wakanda Forever, because of the retelling of Namor's story. It was like it's because the Spaniards came to Mesoamerica, and then they had to run to the sea, and now they're back to take off the evil Spaniards who are now part of the land.
I didn't watch it either.
I watched it, and I was like, oh god, this is colonialist theory all over again.
Right. Namor the Submariner was created by Jack Kirby instead. No, it was created by Bill Everett. His name is Namor. His name is Roman backwards. He screams Imperious Rex when he gets mad, the Imperial King. That's Latin. He's in Atlantis, which was created by Plato, the Greek. He worshipped Poseidon, who was a Greek and Roman god. Namor is of now he's a fish person, he's fictional, but the character is of the Roman world, the European world. I got no problems with the water-breathing Mesoamerican guy, but they got they got Toltec, they got Mexican, they got Aztec, they got all of these wonderful, rich stories. The colorist for my comic book, Oscar Carrano, he's really into Mayan mythology, and we talk about it a few times. Why don't they just make another character?
Yeah, and that's
I agree with you. I didn't watch the movie.
I watched it, and I was like, oh god, this is because they don't want to give the creator credit,
or they just don't want another white history. Why not? They don't make, if you don't like the source material, don't use the source material.
Yeah,
it's Marvel Comics. You want to make a guy called Quetzalcoatl? You know what? He comes out of or like the Aztec warriors were called jaguars.
Yeah.
So make a guy called El Jaguar, and he has the obsidian blade. He's got that cool shield. They could have done so many things. It wouldn't have bothered me that it wasn't a Marvel comic book character if it was a cool character. But to take not just a Marvel character, but the first Marvel character and totally bastardize it means I'm done. That's why I quit Marvel Comics, because they had no respect for the continuity. I'm going to go see these movies, that written by committee,
it's just it was. I mean,
I forgot about the movie. You got me angry. Thank you.
Well, Fantastic Four was okay because it was basically Fantastic Four, just a different coat of paint.
Right. I Fantastic Four was the last. Well, Endgame to me was the beginning of the end. I hated Endgame so much that I stopped watching the Marvel movie. But I did see. I went to see the Spider-Man movie because I wanted to see Tobey Maguire and Andy Garfield and all that. So that gave a fork on me. And then I saw the Fantastic Four because I love the Fantastic Four. That's my favorite.
I actually liked the whole 60s retro aspect they had on there.
Despite the fact that all four members were miscast, I kind of like the movie. Despite the fact that they had a female Silver Surfer, I still kind of like the movie.
But one of the things was that they actually cut out the part of John Malkovich because they cast him as Red Ghost.
He would have been perfect. I would love to see that.
Yeah, they actually because Marvel didn't want to take too much of a risk, and so they said we don't want to drag this movie on, so they had to make some cuts, tough editorial cuts, and like some of the stuff for Ben, some of the character stuff for Ben, and like other villains that were that were in the Fantastic Four but weren't shown, but were mentioned in the beginning. Those parts were cuts.
Like the girl that Ben Grimm got interested in,
Yeah,
served no purpose.
Yeah, that was.
You know, why did they get like an expensive actress to not do it? She could have been Alicia.
Yeah, they got more. They actually had more screen time together, but then they were like, "We can't have this movie be this long because fans are going to get too anxious, and there's not enough action in this movie." And they're like, and so like we're gonna have to make some cuts. And I'm like,
I wonder if this is gonna be like an extended cut DVD or something.
Yeah, and actually have John Malkovich as the Red Ghost.
Yeah, he would have been perfect, the Red Ghost, because they did like a little quick. They changed the Mole Man, which bothered me a little bit, but not a lot. But you know, Galactus they kind of dumbed down, but
yeah, they also mentioned like Wizard cycled in.
Yeah, they mentioned a lot.
Yeah, but they never showed any of those villains. I mean, they did show the orangutan from Red Ghost to Super Apes.
Yeah, and they showed Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom.
Well, at the end.
Right. Which, to me, why did they pay the money for Robert Downey Jr.? Like, Dr. Doom doesn't take off the mask. They literally could have had a no-name actor. You know, and then dubbed in somebody else's voice. You know, they could have really saved money on Dr. Doom.
Yeah, they could have at least have Dr. Doom, someone wear Dr. Doom guys, and then Robert Downey Jr. say his lines off screen. They could have saved a lot of money right there.
Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. What does Iron Man have to do with Dr. Doom?
Well, this is supposed to be like a different universe set from the Marvel.
So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it's one of infinite versions. I hate all the multiverse stuff.
Yeah,
it's so freaking stupid.
Yeah, like the I don't know if you have Thunderbolts, but at the end, they get since they're the new Avengers, but they're still having trouble with the old Avengers, and they get a distress call, which is a interdimensional ship, and then it's like in the mid-credit scenes, it has an interdimensional ship, and it's the Fantastic Force ship coming in through the wormhole. And it says, and at the end it says, the Thunderbolts will return on Doomsday.
Yeah, well.
And this is what I don't get. They already started filming Avengers Doomsday, and they haven't even, and they're saying that the script hasn't even been finished.
Right. Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah. Doesn't bode well.
Yeah. All right. So we're going in for an hour and have got to go. So we will be back next week. Hopefully
it's an hour already.
Yeah. Time flies.
Yeah. Oh, geez. Look at my crazy hair.
Yeah.
Talking to you was fun.
Yeah. It's always fun. I love talking about horror comic books, horror board games. Hopefully we will have more guests. This is going to be a month-long celebration of horror and scares on Geeks Talking Geek. Hopefully John and a few more guests can show up throughout the month, but we're going to call it a day. So this has been Bandito Bane. This is John's Long Boxes, and as I always say, keep playing and God bless. And here's something to sign off on. Do you like scary movies?